Every few decades, humanity witnesses a breakthrough so profound that it changes the course of industries and alters the way people live and work. These moments are rare and powerful, and they often arrive without the majority realizing their significance until much later. This is what happened in sports when legends like Michael Jordan and LeBron James emerged. It happened in technology when companies like NVIDIA reshaped computing, and when the internet revolutionized the way the world communicates. Right now, we are at the beginning of another era-defining transformation. Whoever controls the most advanced computing capacity will effectively control the main highways of the digital economy. These highways will be the channels through which all AR or I-powered processes run, and they will have toll booths at every major junction. That is why the current competition among the big technology companies is less about creating individual applications and more about securing the foundational elements of the ecosystem. They are racing to own the infrastructure because they understand that everything else will be built on top of it. This dynamic mirrors a principle from the gold rush era. During that time, a handful of prospectors found gold and became wealthy, but the majority failed. However, the merchants who sold picks, shovels, tools, and supplies to those prospectors grew rich without ever digging for gold themselves. The lesson from history is clear. In times of transformative opportunity, the real wealth often comes from owning the infrastructure that makes the revolution possible. In today's AI revolution, the equivalent of picks and shovels is computing hardware, semiconductor technology, cooling systems, chip design software, and specialized cloud services. These components are indispensable for the development and deployment of artificial intelligence, and the companies providing them are positioned to benefit regardless of which specific AI application emerges as dominant. There is an urgency to this moment because the shift is still in its earliest stage. The spending numbers that shocked the market in recent weeks would have seemed unthinkable only a couple of years ago. Yet despite this surge in investment, most industries are still at the starting line. Entire sectors have not begun to integrate AI into their operations. This means we are witnessing the initial steps of a process that will likely unfold over many years. Historically, major technological transitions follow a familiar pattern. They begin slowly, accelerate as adoption spreads, and then create exponential growth opportunities for companies at the foundation of the ecosystem. The early stages are often volatile, and they require patience, but they also offer the most substantial long-term rewards for those who stay committed. The financial data provides another layer of confirmation. The combined capital expenditures of the largest hyperscale companies now exceed their aggregate free cash flow. In simple terms, these corporations are spending more than they are generating in cash flow. That does not happen unless executives are convinced that the payoff will be extraordinary. Businesses of this size are typically conservative when it comes to capital allocation. They do not overspend without a clear strategic reason. When they choose to do so, it is because they believe failing to act now would mean missing out on an era-defining transformation. For investors, this is a powerful signal that something significant is underway. Of course, no opportunity comes without risks, and the AI sector is no exception. There are several challenges to consider. Valuations for many AI-related companies are high, which makes some investors nervous. Geopolitical tensions between major economies could disrupt supply chains and access to critical resources. Regulatory actions could slow progress, particularly if governments impose restrictions on data use or antitrust measures on dominant players. There are also execution risks because scaling advanced infrastructure is an immensely complex and costly process. Furthermore, there is a shortage of highly skilled talent capable of developing and managing these systems. Demand for such expertise far exceeds supply, creating a bottleneck that could slow innovation. Despite these obstacles, history offers reassurance. Every transformative technology faces challenges in its early stages. When automobiles were first introduced, critics pointed out the lack of roads and highways. Yet infrastructure followed technology, not the other way around. The same was true for railroads, telecommunications, and the internet. In every case, initial limitations were overcome because the underlying innovation created so much value that society adapted to support it. Those who remain focused on long-term fundamentals, however, stand to gain the most. Patience will be the deciding factor, between those who achieve significant returns and those who regret selling too soon. The real opportunity lies in the companies providing the essential infrastructure for AI. These firms are not making a single bet on one application or platform. These businesses form the foundation upon which every AI innovation will stand. Opportunities of this magnitude do not appear every year or even every decade. They are generational events. Artificial intelligence represents a shift that will redefine economies, industries, and daily life. The companies that provide the tools, the infrastructure, and the enabling technologies for this revolution will shape the future and deliver exceptional returns for those who invest early and hold with discipline. The road ahead will not be without challenges, and the market will test the patience of those who commit to this vision. But for those who understand the scale of what is happening and position themselves wisely, this moment has the potential to become one of the most rewarding investment opportunities of the modern era.